This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. We're over here in the Kansas side. We're in Kansas to tell you a story. Now, yeah, I can look over the hill and see the ranch in Nebraska that I worked part-time for some 43 years. But this is the Burntwood. You're looking down in the canyon, about 400-foot drop down there to the creek. Oh, I don't run anymore, but in its time, it ran deep enough that cattle had to swim it. Absolutely. But this is more notable than that, because there used to be a town down there. I said a town, and the name was Burntwood. The Burntwood town. It started out as just a relay station for Hays, Kansas, on up to Deadwood, South Dakota. And they were running stagecoach, and they needed, different spots to pick up new horses, and so they set up a relay station. But it started to grow. Most of 50 people lived there at one time. Had a school, hardware store, livery stable, blacksmith shop. You bet. It was a growing concern, and they even talked about putting a railroad from down there up to Deadwood, and if they'd have done that, that would still be going, and it might be a fair-sized town, maybe even a small city. Who knows what may have come, but it wasn't to be. Now, there were notables that came through there. General Custer rode the stagecoach, stopped there, as well as Wild Bill Hickok. You bet. But again, there's nothing left of the town. All of the boards and houses and everything's been stripped out of the area. It's back to prairie, if you will. It's back to prairie. Does kind of make me worry just a wee bit how there's nothing left of it, that maybe in another 100 or 150 years, maybe the rest of the nation will be back to prairie if we aren't careful. If we aren't careful, and if we let the government continue the way it is. This last weekend I hauled some parts for a rancher. He said, "How do you want paid?" And I said, "Well, why don't you just let me harvest a little bit of your corn? Why don't you let me harvest a little bit of your corn?" He said, "Take what you want." So I took 50 years. I wasn't going to take a whole bunch or abuse the gift that he was offering. But rest assured, 50 years of corn, the right time on a day after event, would be worth their weight in gold. But while I was out there, this is also snake country, and ran into a few of them. In fact, his hired hands ran into a rattlesnake den when they was out and about this weekend. And so here's one of the tools that I carry, especially in places where the ranchers or the farmers don't want you to have a gun. It's just a fiberglass rod. But it will sing out there, and it will dispatch and break the neck of a snake real quick that's trying to do harm to you. It's something you ought to consider. I've had that for better than 20 years. The old handle's just about to fall apart on it. But it came from Bud K. I think I paid $7 for it. But it's an excellent lightweight. You don't even know it's there. Quite often I'll put a rope around it and just hang it when I'm walking around so I still have my hands free. And yet it's there in places where you can't have a gun and there are snakes in the area. It's one safety tool that will be here long after they take guns, as far as that goes. And even for a dog or a snake, it would give you some serious protection. I kid you not.